It's 11:20 p.m. and I'm just now recording my first video for you guys. Most of my day was spent with one client in particular. It was a Medicaid spend down case where she has just so many policies she doesn't need, but it makes sense to keep them so that she can keep her full Medicaid benefits. So she's doubled up on things like dental, vision, home health care policies. I did not write all these policies on her. It was a previous agent that I used to actually know and work with. And he just kind of set her up, and he also got her these other policies that didn't even count towards her Medicaid spend down. So she was very pissed that she had essentially wasted money for a year spending and paying for health insurance premiums for plans that didn't even count. And so now when she went to renew, they were threatening to kick her off of Medicaid. And it was just a huge mess. And I spent 4 hours this morning and early afternoon calling her, calling Medicaid, calling her, calling Medicaid, calling Medicaid again, to just figure out what exactly we needed, what policies did classify, what did not count, figure out exactly how much money she needs to be spending on insurance policies to keep her full Medicaid, what would happen if she goes out of Medicaid, which would be she would only get her Part B premium paid for Medicare, whereas right now her Medicaid pays for everything that Medicare doesn't pay for. She's under 65. She has an Advantage plan, but we're switching her to a better Advantage plan that also costs $19 a month. So that counts towards the $230 some dollars that we need to spend on different insurance policies. Man, it was a nightmare. But so it goes. I enrolled her in couple policies tonight, and then I will finish enrolling her in a policy tomorrow. And I don't know though if I will get the commission, unfortunately, for switching her Advantage plan. It's still an open enrollment, and even regardless, I think open enrollment was extended because of the coronavirus. But I really hope I get the commission for the Advantage plan, because that is $255 versus the other two policies I wrote on her will only equate to $18 a month in commission for me, which would bite if that was the only payout I got for spending like 7 hours today. That's an exaggeration. Probably 5 or 6 hours today working on her case. And only getting $18 a month for that would really suck. But at least I'm helping her out. I should have this client for life. I went way above and beyond. She goes, Colin, I've worked with 3 other agents, and they just had no idea what to do, what policies would work, which policies, counted, which ones didn't, how much money I needed to spend exactly, etc. And I don't think it's all on the agents, because even I called into Medicaid this morning and got a completely, I guess we technically don't know if it was wrong, but I got a completely different answer than this other lady that my client had called into at Medicaid. So, and I called back later, and it was a different person that gave me a different answer than the first one in the morning when I had called in. So the confusion lies at the Nebraska Medicaid office, unfortunately, and I don't like bad-mouthing anyone who's not here right next to me to defend themselves. But there's just a lot of misinformation and conflicting answers going on, I think, at the Medicaid office. I even had one lady tell me that it depends on which person you get at the office, which is very bad and very frustrating. Everyone should have the same set of rules and the same answers. Well, man, What a crazy situation. What an unexpected client. She found me because I had wrote one of those home health care policies on her two Decembers ago. I remember her after she told me that, but I hadn't talked to her since because she said, I just need to buy a home health care policy from you. And because of my Medicaid spend down, that was the extent to my knowledge back then. I didn't really look into it too much further. You know, when a client calls you and says, I need to buy insurance, especially a product like home health care that has pretty high commission, I just say, are you sure? She goes, yep. And I say, cool, let me write up the policy and get paid and help you out, apparently. I didn't know that she had other home health care policies. I didn't know the full extent of the situation, but now I do. So she called into one of those home health care companies, one of the two companies, and she found out that I was her agent. And so they gave her my number. Luckily, it was still the same number. If they had just given her my email, it would not have been the same, because that was at the first brokerage, actually, that I ever worked at. So yeah, I don't have access to that email anymore. But it was crazy. So glad it's done. Well, it's not done yet. I have to call her at 10 a.m. tomorrow. So in 11 hours, I'll be calling her. 10 and a half hours, actually, I'll be calling her. And finishing enrolling her in her MAPD. Other than that, though, I didn't really do much today. I worked out. I answered some emails. I scheduled a Zoom call. Stretched my elbow, which I include in working out. And that's about it in terms of work. Well, I guess working out isn't really work. That's about all I did today. Oh, I went through one of my keepsakes bins. So as you guys know, I think, I live in my mom's basement because I am just starting from scratch with insurance. And, well, like for example, I didn't get paid any renewals on that client that I talked about earlier in today's video. But I live in my mom's basement, and she's doing some spring cleaning / coronavirus / quarantine cleaning, I guess I should say. And with that, she was giving me some boxes of my old keepsakes. And I went through one of my old keepsakes box, which was old clothes. So old soccer jerseys. I played soccer growing up. I played club, high school, lots of soccer. Old Yu-Gi-Oh shirts from when I was a kid, old high school t-shirts, old fraternity t-shirts, just things like that. So I went through those, decided which ones to get rid of, which ones to keep. Still don't know why I keep it. Let me know if I'm weird for keeping old t-shirts. Maybe I'm too sentimental, but I think they're fun to look back on in terms of memories. Maybe I should take a picture of them instead. I don't know. But so that took up a little bit of my time, and then I kind of have been getting distracted a little bit. I've been watching Ozark. The new season of Ozark just came out, so I've had that on in the background while working out, while going through the t-shirts, while finishing some applications for that client, while entering that client into my CRM and into my sales tracker. So probably was not as productive because of Ozark, because of Netflix. I suck. Now I'm going to try to read for a half an hour, get my 7 habits on, and then head to bed, hopefully by 12:30. And then that'll be a wrap. I got a lot of phone calls, a lot of Zoom calls, and a lot of webinars tomorrow. So it'll be just a big day on the phone. A couple episodes back, I told you guys I would start to elaborate and start sharing on some of my goals with you all. First and foremost is obviously to move out of my mom's basement. That is a goal of mine. Was going to be by the end of the year, but probably more than that for a couple of reasons. One, because my elbow still sucks and I can't really lift anything. So moving would be difficult. I feel like a total bum for having some friends and some buddies and some family members help me out when I can't even help myself move. Can't carry anything on my own, I would feel so bad, honestly. But also, it'd be the end of the year is obviously in the middle of winter in Nebraska, and the weather sucks and it's very hit or miss. So it can be good because probably some good deals on leases for apartments and maybe even homes. Probably not houses. Maybe condos though, we'll see. But I don't want to mess with the spotty weather and potentially moving in snow. I've already moved in snow once. It was just a lightish snow and it sucked. And my girlfriend was helping me and her car died that night. We had to get my roommate at the time to jump us. Oh, it was a nightmare. Oh, God. Good times. So yeah, that is a goal of mine, is to definitely move out of my mom's basement, obviously. All right, viewers, it is 12:30. I'm about to head to bed. And that wraps up day 11 of quarantine.